the Senate, and today is Tuesday, September 26th, and the time is 3:04. All right, so first, let's go over the agenda, first order of business. And then we'll have the adoption of the previous minutes, followed by quorum. Just scroll down.
Sorry.
Oh my god.
Oh, scroll down, sorry.
It's up. Oh, it's okay. Okay. So after quorum, then we'll have the ODU PD report, followed by the guest speaker, followed by old business, which includes Joint Resolution 1, the Senate Confirmation Process Resolution, followed by Senate Bill 5, the Student Government Association Bylaws Reconstruction Phase 2 bill, followed by Senate Bill 6, the Business Analytics Club Contingency, followed by new business, including Senate Bill 7, the September 2017 New Senator Confirmation Bill, followed by Senate Bill 8, the Bylaws Reconstruction Phase 3 Additions 1 bill, followed by the President's and Vice President's report, followed by the Treasurer's report, Chief Justice report, Senate Committee reports, Advisor's report, Reserve Seat report, public comments and announcements, followed by adjournment. Is there a motion on the floor at this time? Yes, Senator.
I move to strike guest speaker Abby Kinderwater from the agenda.
There's a motion on the floor to strike guest speaker Abby Kinderwater from the agenda. Is there a second? Is there any opposition? If no opposition, she has been struck from the agenda. Is there another motion on the floor at this time? Yes, Senator.
Motion to approve the agenda.
There's a motion on the floor to approve the agenda. Is there a second? Is there any opposition? The agenda has been approved. Mr. Chief of Staff, would you mind bringing up the previous minutes for me? Okay, since the previous minutes were sent out ahead of time, they will not be read aloud today. Are there any questions about the previous minutes? Okay, with no questions, the previous minutes have been approved. So today we met quorum at 9, I believe. Is that correct, Senator? For 10? Awesome. And now we have the ODPD report.
Thank y'all for that applause. I like that. And greetings and hello family. I haven't seen you all in a while, so I'm going to say hello family because we meet quite regularly. Guys, young ladies, I'm going to give y'all a bit of information as far as the police report for this month. And the reports go from September the 1st, 2017 to September the 25th. And we had alrighty. So I'm going to give you a breakdown. Forgive me, I need my glasses for this. We had 2 drug incidences, and I'm sorry about that. And we had 1 assault, 1 burglary, and we had 3 larcenies, and we had 3 vandalisms, and we had 3 sexual assault / display. And if you're wondering what display means, is we had a young man who was in need of services playing with himself in one of our academic buildings. So that's why we have it listed as display, because we kind of never had that. But please know that he was in need of services, so police responded, took him to counseling services, and got him the help that he needed. So please know that. And once again, that's why we say if you all walk around campus, you guys are our eyes and ears. If you see something, say something. Of course, that's alarming. That's unusual behavior. We need to make sure, like I said, that good ODU students report, and we make sure that everybody who's in need of services get the services that they need. Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Where
Yes.
does the sexual assault occur?
In one of the academic buildings. It's still, the assault is still going on, so I'm not at liberty to talk about it and give specifics because it's an ongoing investigation. So when I hear with reports that are ongoing, and because it's still being investigated, I cannot give particulars. I can tell you that it happened. But it's nothing, they were acquaintances, I'll tell you that. Yes, sir.
Is there a website we can go to that sees that crime that happened at
Yeah, absolutely, glad that you mentioned that. Great. So you can go to crimemapping. You can pull it up on your computer, crimemapping.org, and put in, it'll show you little search engines, and put in ODU, Old Dominion University, and I think that we'll go to Norfolk, and it pulls our stats up along with Norfolk.
Okay.
And they update, just to let you guys know, every day. So anytime that you want to find out what's going on our campus or around our campus, go to crimemapping.org, and you can pull stuff up, and it's updated once again every 24 hours. Because like I said, we're not trying to hide anything. Because guys, if you know, once again, you are our eyes and ears. And like I said, everybody in here, believe it or not, is a police officer. And the reason that I say that is you all walk around campus, what do you guys do? You observe and you report. So yes, indeed, you are police officers. So like I said, keep doing the great job that you guys are doing. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
So are both like the sexual assault cases like ongoing, or like was one of them like resolved, or?
Yeah, one of them, well, the one that I said, the display, that's of course resolved. Because he was in need of services
Yeah.
and he needed assistance, so.
I have another question. I don't know if you know, maybe from like last year.
Yes, ma'am, I do.
So with
But say your name again.
Janelle.
Janelle.
Yes. What area would you say like sexual assaults usually happen? Like, would it be like, is there an area of campus where you guys have seen like over time where they're?
It's not, a lot of it stems from alcohol, so it can be in a party environment.
Okay.
So, you're partying and people are, like I said, and that can be you touching somebody unwanted. And but it's never like the movies portray it, where somebody, a stranger throws you on the ground, and it's not, no man, it's not like that. It's like I said, alcohol has been involved with ours, and there are acquaintances, it's not
It's usually not like
a stranger, absolutely no man. And like I said, the majority of ours have been related to alcohol, except for the one young man who was in need of services. Any other questions?
I do.
Yes, ma'am.
When it says larceny, what do they like steal?
You name it, anything that they can get at their hands on. Larceny is a crime of opportunity. So it can be anywhere from books to your laptop to anything that they can see, cash, cell phones, shoes, clothes. We've had all those types of things. Once again, it's a crime of opportunity. So, like I said, it's the bad guy that goes Christmas shopping early because he doesn't have anything to do but steal your stuff. No, I'm not joking when I say that.
Good quote that you use there.
Yeah, they go Christmas shopping, so it's a time of opportunity. So for those of you who drive a car, as I say in a lot of my meetings, your car needs to look like it just drove off the showroom floor. What does Officer Pate mean by that? That means nothing that can be seen, no wires hanging out that somebody thinks a cell phone is attached to, or wires. Because if I'm the bad guy, if I break your window out and I get nothing, you still get a broken window, don't you? If I break your window out and get your laptop, now you got a broken window that you have to pay for. Exactly. So your car needs to look like it just drove off the showroom floor. Nothing in it. Any other questions?
Just a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question. So the larceny, is it specified for vehicles or is it
It's vehicles, it's academic buildings, it's dormitories, it's all of them.
And then the same thing for the vandalism. Was that academic building, residence, or?
No, those are vandalisms to vehicles. So in other words, it's two in one. To get into your car, I have to do what? Bust the window up, right? And then I do what? Steal your property. So it's 2 in 1. It's a 2-pack. Any other questions? Oh, hold it. I have a question. Does everybody know the number to your police department to report a crime?
64,000.
Yes. So for those of you who don't have, don't have our phone number, ODU phone number is not 911. It's 757-683-4000. So for those of you who do not have that number, please take out the cell phones and take it down. 757-683-4000. Because you got to know our number to report a crime. My next question, does everybody know where we're located?
Yes.
Marksman.
Yeah, one in Powhatan, one in Marksman.
All righty. Yes. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Is there a difference between what the main police station handles and what the Powhatan police handles?
Yes, ma'am. They handle, well, no, they do more investigations. Powhatan is just myself and my partner, Officer Evans, who are part of the community policing team. And your president will tell you a lot of times we're not in the office because we're at meetings and we're engaging the community. So we're really not there a lot of times. But the main headquarters, which is 4516 Monarch Way, is open 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So that one is open more than 7-Eleven, okay? Just saying. You like my little analogies.
Yeah.
But yeah, so please come by, bring cookies. Don't bring donuts, and bring cookies, okay? Any other questions?
No other questions.
All right, thank you guys.
Okay, so the next order of business is old business. Would you please bring up joint resolution 1 for me, Tyler? Thank you. Okay, so this is my bill. We put it segregated as last week. This is just to make the senator induction process very similar to how it was last year, rather than this year where we have to write a bill and have everybody be confirmed in front of Senate. Do you have any questions for me this week? If you guys prefer the bill, I mean, you really don't have to pass this. Yes. Any questions? No. Okay. Are there any motions on the floor at this time? Voting procedure. Yes, Senator Terry.
Motion to vote on?
There's a motion on the floor to enter voting procedure. Is there a second? Is there any opposition? Okay, so Tyler, would you mind switching to my laptop real quick? Okay, so I already got out your things to vote. A is yay, B is nay, C is abstain. It's literally not plugged in. That's my fault, guys. Hold on.
Ms. Speaker, could you repeat that, please?
I'm sorry. A is yay, B is nay, C is abstain. Yeah. We did. Good job, guys.
What do you do?
If this is an issue, guys, we can just do raise your hand vote. Are people confused? Are we confused? Is
that working?
Okay, so we're just going to raise your hand vote. Okay, so all in favor of passing joint resolution 1, please raise your hand nice and high for me. Okay, with 10 yeas, 0 nays, and 0 abstains, this bill clearly passes. Can you bring up the next bill for me? Senate Bill 5. And will the chief sponsor of Senate Bill 5 please come forward?
You're next. Oh, I'm next. Sorry. I'm getting started.
All right, so I did a brief presentation, and I'm not going to go all the way back through it to save all of you, so because that's not fair to you. So, is there any questions that we have about it at this point? At all? No. Okay.
Chief sponsor. Great. Awesome. Thank you, Ron. So the previously submitted motions, I believe we have them for this bill. We do. Okay. So there's a friendly amendment that was submitted ahead of time to fix the formatting for line 100 and 101. Apparently they are the same line. No, it looks okay. It looks okay to me, but we have to vote on it anyway because it is on the floor. Yeah, okay, so there's a motion on the floor to make a friendly amendment to fix the formatting for line 100 and 101. Is there a second? Is there any opposition? Okay, with opposition, we take a rising hand vote. All in favor of fixing the format, please raise your hand. All opposed? Okay, with the majority opposed, we are not doing the amendment. Okay, so is there another motion on the floor at this time? Yes, Senator Terry.
Motion to vote.
There's a motion on the floor to enter voting procedure. Is there a second? Any opposition? Okay, we're now in voting procedure, so please raise your hand if you are in favor of Senate Bill 5. Okay, with 10 yeas, 0 nays, and 0 abstains, this bill clearly passes. Tyler, can you please bring up the next bill for me? It should be the Business Analyst Club contingency. Yeah. And will the chief sponsor of this bill please come forward?
There are any questions?
Yes.
It states that you requested for 6 students. You went to this conference last year, is that correct?
No. This will be the first time we meet all the standards for applying contingency. We've never done anything like this before.
You've never gone to the convention?
No.
Okay. And can I ask another question?
Yes.
How many people do you normally take when you go to?
Well, we've actually never even attended a convention before. As far as I know, I've talked with Brenda Radford, and she's been here since the founding of the club. She says they've never attended a conference before.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Are there any more questions for the chief sponsor of this bill?
Thank you, guys.
All right, no more questions. Are there any motions on the floor at this time? Yes, Senator Chair.
Motion to vote on our
Enter voting procedure.
enter voting procedure, yeah.
There's a motion on the floor to enter voting procedure. Is there a second? Is there any opposition? Okay, so raise your hand nice and high for me if you yay for this bill. Nays? And abstains. Raise your hand for you, Hiram. Abstain. Okay, so with 2 abstains, 1 nay, and 7 yeas, this bill clearly passes. Okay. So we are now on to new business. Tyler, would you please bring up the first bill for this week? The September 2017 Youth Center Confirmation Bill. Okay, and can I have my 3 prospective senators that I interviewed, Shakim Avery, Shuja Allah, and Taylor Miles, can you guys come forward for me? So this week we had our first 3 people who completed their application, got their signatures, and interviewed with me. This is them. If you guys have any questions for them, go ahead and ask. This is them. I'm recommending all 3 of these people. I think they all have outstanding credentials. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Yes, Corey.
I think they need to introduce themselves to everybody. If we're still doing it how we did it, how it's supposed to be for
Okay.
last year. So just come up and say your name, your major, anything about you. That way everybody can get to know who you are. Be known.
Hi, my name is Shakim Avery. I'm a sophomore, and I'm a thing to know about me. I'm a founder of Dynamic Modeling True, is a new student organization that was founded in December of last year.
Point of information.
Yes.
Could you add what you could benefit to our organization? What you could add to our organization?
So one thing when I first came to campus that I was really trying to push for is to get something to make the Hampton Boulevard side of the campus connect to the other side with the middle bridge over, so it can be easy for students to cross. So that's one thing that I want to be pushed for through the government.
So my name is Taylor Miles. I'm a freshman. I'm a double major, English and Spanish. Something about me, I like spaghetti. Oh, I can add organizational skills and a bright smile.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sujata Halla. I'm a doctoral student in engineering management. I would like to represent international student community on campus with SGA and professional networking.
Are there any more questions for the prospective senators? No. Okay. Thank you, guys. No further questions. Is there a motion on the floor at this time? Yes, Senator Simpson.
I move to fast track this bill.
There's a motion on the floor to fast track this bill. Is there a second? Is there any opposition? Okay, with no opposition, this bill's been fast tracked. So at the end, we're going to enter a special session and get these guys inducted. Okay. Tyler, would you mind bringing up Senate Bill 80, Bylaws Reconstruction Phase 3 Additions 1 bill? And will the chief sponsor of that bill please come forward this time?
I yield the floor to Chief Justice Rugg.
I'm a process guy, sorry. How's everybody doing today? Good? You ready for another one of these?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell. Good. All right, so what this whole phase 3, kind of 3-phase thing I was doing is to make sure that I didn't pile all this onto you guys all at once. There'll be a couple different parts. I kind of separated out per the articles, so that way it's not a 14-page bill that you're all reading at once. So go ahead. So what I'm going to go over today is the stuff that was added, the reason for those additions, and if you can hold all your questions till the end, I'll make sure I get everything answered for you. Go ahead. So progression is something that government document-wise, we haven't done a lot of in the last few years in SGA. So what I wanted to do is create a way that we can continue to progress and kind of align with what other SGAs in the state of Virginia are doing, whether that be Norfolk State or University of Virginia. I used a lot of their bylaws as models for what I was attempting to do over the summer. A lot of the standards that they have, whether it be code of conduct, their authority sections, all that, that's all stuff that they have in there and they've updated in the last couple of years. Something we haven't updated since 2008. So I wanted to make sure that we were able to put that kind of stuff in there. What a lot of those things allow you to do is have accountability, hold people responsible, understand where the SGA power comes from, those types of things. Also clearly address what the overall position structure is within SGA. Where do positions drive their power? Where do they come in at? How are they created? How are they made? How are they filled? And another request that I had gotten over the summer was to add an order of succession, which will allow us to have a clear defined chain of command when it comes to what happens if James and Andy and Jordan are all on a truck and it flips over into Elizabeth. What happens at that point? Not that any of us want that, but if that happened, we need to know what we would do at that point. Go ahead, Todd. So, authority and representation. So I modeled this pretty much. I went through our representative of the Board of Visitors, Ivan, and I also went through what the President's office told me I was allowed to put in here, and what we have written in our own Constitution. So authority just basically explains where we get the power that we get as the SGA to do what it is we do. Representation just clearly spells out what you mean to the SGA and to the rest of the university, both in and outside of the organization. That you're constantly representing ODU, whether you're really on duty or not. Just remember that. Go ahead. So the Code of Conduct addresses all of that stuff. It's not very specific. And the reason for that is because Code of Conduct should be the general rules that we follow. This allows for us to adjust that later in the future if we need to, add to it in the future, take away from it in the future, depending on how the organization is structured. The point of the Code of Conduct and the accountability of the Code of Conduct is to basically just make sure that we all have an understanding of what it means to be a member of the student government. The accessibility portion is just understanding that you need to be able to do these things under the Code of Conduct. That all of these rules, and I understand that there is a job requirement section. What's in that section doesn't fall under what's under accessibility. So because this is your duty, these are basically your duties to the student body, whereas stuff that's under your job description is your duties to the student government. So that's the biggest difference. Go ahead. All right, defining the executive board members. The reason that we divided this out was because I wanted to make sure that those that are elected by, those that are in the executive board that are elected are separate from those that are appointed. And that plays into how the order of succession will come later. Because appointed directors aren't, from what I've researched, technically who is allowed to be in the order of succession. The order of succession is those that were voted on by the student body or those that were appointed by the student government during that type of election. Go ahead. Application process. There was some confusion, and there has been for a couple of years, on what is the appropriate application process for directors, for anybody that's applying to run for an office. This helps to clear that up and give a clear direction as to how somebody will apply, when things have to be done, when things have to be posted, and where they have to be posted in order to get that word out to the rest of the student body. Go ahead. So one of the things that we looked into was there was some discrepancies in some of the things that you guys voted on for the corrections phase, was to clear up what is considered having served a full year or having served an academic year. There was a lot of confusion onto what that requirement is for the president. So I looked across about 20 different SGAs across the state of Virginia. And everybody has some form of similar addition to this, which is that they serve 2 consecutive semesters. Or sometimes it does say academic year. We had calendar year. It says full academic year here, but in another section it said full calendar year. So we shoring up those corrections and putting in 2 consecutive semesters makes it very clear as to how long you have to be in the student government in order to become the president. And then also adding the addition that you're considered to have served a full semester upon completion of 9 weeks of membership in any semester, meaning that most semesters are between 15 and 16 weeks long. You serve more than half, you're considering you have to serve for that whole semester. So therefore, I'll get your questions at the end, don't worry. If we have no eligible people that are applying to be president, we can, because of the old rule, which is full academic year from the time of induction or from the time of being sworn in, this allows more people, allows the pool to be larger, allows those that want to become president or want to go on to make that position or to change whatever it is they want to change, to apply, and gives them that opportunity. Go ahead. Order of succession. So this is an example from Norfolk State. The order of succession, it's important to have that chain of command. Like I said, if something was to happen to a whole bunch of people at once, we need to have a clear route of what we're going to do. Who's in charge? Who's going to make decisions? It allows for those decisions to be made without any form of conflict or anything like that. It's just clearly spelled out. Go ahead. So here's where we have the order of succession right now. This is what I presented, which is, for the most part, this is pretty much across the board. It's your elected officials, or those officials that are elected by the Senate. And this mirrors some of the SGAs across the state and also our own United States government. So, as you'll notice, I'm not in there, none of the directors are in there. The reason for that is because we are appointed by the president already. The people that should be taking over in order of succession should be those that were voted on by the student body. So that's why all of us are left out of that. Go ahead. And those are all of my references, which are pretty much the same every week. Go ahead. All right. Questions? Yes.
For president eligibility, is that including committee members, or is that just including senators for the 2 consecutive senators?
That is anyone.
Can you go back to the slide that says order of succession?
Yes.
Okay, so on there it says president, vice president, speaker, speaker, president, secretary, treasurer, senator, senior to from date inducted.
Mm-hmm.
Speaker pro temp isn't elected by the student body, so why are they on the order of succession?
They're elected by the Senate.
Right, but you just said that those who are on there for order of succession should be elected by the student body.
or those who are elected by the Senate,
Because we represent them.
because we represent them. That is correct. Yes. Go ahead. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead. Aaron.
So for the order of succession, if the president was ineligible to serve anymore and the vice president moved up, would everybody else move up as well?
No, that'll be in the elections, which will be coming forward. Currently, right now, the way that it would work is if the presidency was vacated, let's say if something happened to Jordan or something like that, James would step in, but that would be temporary until a special election was held. That is currently what it says in the bylaws, which will be pretty close to what is going to be coming in the future. So what would end up happening is Jordan falls into the river, and James will be, so it's not that everybody moves up, it's just that point is vacated, and the structure then just moves from the next person up, the next highest person down.
So this would just be temporary until a special election?
That is correct.
So point of information, I actually think it's the way it's written now, that the only, if something were to happen to me, James would become the official president and you would have to do an election for the vice president.
Yes.
Two questions. Would this have to be voted on by the student body? No.
Well, no. These are bylaws only.
Okay. Also, how do you, I guess, give us a gist of how you came up with, obviously past speaker, I guess the first thing makes sense, but how you came up with the order for it?
So I looked at I looked at a few things. I looked at what do other SGAs do in the state of Virginia. I looked at what other SGAs do across the nation. And then I looked at what our own U.S. government does. And since the goal is to kind of try and model that, I went through theirs. And theirs is president, vice president, speaker, speaker pro tem. And then I think they have like attorney general, secretary of defense. All of those are in there. But see, all of those are confirmed by Senate, whereas our directors are not. They're just appointed by the president. Now, we are confirmed by Senate to a point, but the other SGAs, and the reason that I did that was that they specifically also leave their appointed directors off. They do not include the Chief Justice. They do not include directors of any sort. They include, and a lot of them will say in their bylaws, because of these are elected by the student body or elected by the Senate for the student body. Does that clear it up?
I guess a little bit more so. I was going for like why is Speaker pro tem above Secretary and Secretary above Treasurer? I guess.
That's just when I was looking at the models. That was the models that others have used. That's why I put it there. If that's something you would prefer to move down, we're in Senate, so. Yes.
Sorry, this is my last question. Okay, can you go back to the slide that said appointed? And, okay, no wait. Yeah, you did. Go hit +1. I mean, not +1, but you know.
Yep, there you go.
Okay, so it says like, we're elected by the president, so shouldn't you add vice president as well? Because technically the president and the vice president both come to a decision on who they're appointed by.
No, that's actually not what the Constitution states. Because the Constitution states president only. It doesn't say that the vice president has to agree with them at all.
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
That's true.
Yes.
For hiring directors, is there a reason you chose a minimum of 5 days?
Just because that's what other organizations had done. It's what we had done sometimes in the past. It wasn't something like I deliberated on how long. I wanted to put a limit on it, and when I looked across the others, some were 5, some were 10. There wasn't really any specific consistency on there. I just chose 5. That's it. Yes.
Why is speakers elected official on that slide?
Speaker is not an elected member of the executive board. So they are an elected member of the legislative branch. So when you don't see speaker on here, it's because speaker is elected by the student body for the legislative branch. They're actually not even a voting member of the executive board.
Yeah.
So you don't vote? Okay.
No, I'm just the head of this branch.
And there's also a gray area when you look at chief of staff because I'm appointed by the president, but I'm also, all my job and duties descriptions are all underneath the legislative branch article. So it's not, I'm actually not a member of the executive board either. No.
Are there any more questions for the chief sponsor at this time? Ted, can you bring up the bill for me? Thank you, Ron. Okay, so with no further questions, is there a motion on the floor at this time? Yes, Senator Lund.
I would like to make a motion on behalf of Senator Mondre that's not here.
Mhm.
I would like to make a motion under Section 3 to add a subsection G stating that the President shall, in front of the Senate, declare why each of the executive board members can benefit and execute their office in the executive.
Okay, there's a motion.
I can read it.
There's a motion on the floor to add a subsection G underneath of line 58 to say that the President
In front of the Senate shall state why each of the executive board members that is chosen can effectively state and do their office.
Is there a second? Is there any opposition? Okay, with opposition, we will take a rising hand vote. All in favor of making this friendly amendment to line 58, or sorry, line 59 to add a subsection G. All in favor? All opposed? Abstained? Okay, with 2 abstains, 1 yay, and 7 nays, this amendment is not being implemented. Okay, so are there any other motions on the floor at this time? Yes, Senator Terry.
Motion to move to second reading.
There's a motion on the floor to move this bill to second reading status. Is there a second? Is there any opposition? No opposition. This bill is moved to second reading status. Okay. Alright, and that is it for business. So next we have the President's and Vice President's report. If you could bring that up for me, Tyler.
Good afternoon, everyone. How are you all doing? So my report's not going to be very long today. Just kind of want to go into a quick goal, one of my goals for the semester. So with the construction of the new football stadium coming underway, parking around campus is going to change just a little bit. So while working with Scott to kind of see how the stadium is going to affect parking for students, faculty, and staff and commuters, I'm kind of talking to everyone, trying to get a general idea of how we want to effectively change parking so that it benefits the student body as a whole. So if you're interested in helping me kind of reconfigure parking, come to me after the meeting so we can all sit down eventually sometime in the next 2 weeks and we can get the ball rolling on that. So yesterday I had the opportunity to go down to Christopher Newport University and speak at their student government meeting. So at the end of my remarks, I invited some of their people to come to ODU, and they will be coming next Tuesday to witness one of our Senate meetings. So I think it's super important that we can put on a great show for them. So all of your friends that aren't here today, please invite them to make sure they're here next week. Also, for executive board members and senators, please bring as many people as you can to make it look like that we're doing a really great job. We are. We have to make it look even better than we're already doing. Also, just another thing, something that kind of happened to me last week, and I just kind of want to reiterate something. Please be respectful of the commitments that you do make. For example, if you have a meeting with someone, please go to the meeting and don't cancel on the day of because it's extremely disrespectful, and we need to respect each other's time. Also, just to end off my kind of report for the day, don't watch the clock. Do what it does and keep going. Problems are not stop signs, they're guidelines. Thank you, guys.
Vice President does not have a report this week. No, do you have a report? Nope. Next one. Wrong report this week. Okay, next one. Oh, okay, my Robert's Rules fun fact of the week. Divide the question. So, Alright, I'm gonna read from this book what that says. If a pending main motion or a pending amendment contains two or more parts capable of standing as separate questions, the Assembly can vote to treat each part accordingly in succession. Such a course is proposed by the motion for division of a question. So what that means is that, like, for example, with my bill this week confirming Senate, like the three senators, so let's say you guys wanted the first two, but not like the third, for example, you could divide the question and then vote on everybody separately if you wanted to. Okay. That's it for me. Tyler, okay? Julian, all right.
At this time, I would like to recognize 4 student awards. The first organization I would like to recognize is Lavender Monarchs. This organization aims to offer an encouraging community of monarchs who have been touched by cancer, either as a caregiver, survivor, or currently battling the disease, having known someone with a diagnosis or lost someone to this condition. The second organization I'd like to recognize is GLOW. GLOW stands for Girls Lifting Up Other Women. This is an organization that seeks to provide women with courage, motivation, and confidence. By joining together and uplifting one another, with the help of our empowering words and action, women will have the ability to glow in their own way. The third one I would like to recognize is Art of Self. Art of Self is an organization made to help the students of ODU grow and evolve into their greater selves. It will teach students how to mediate and do mixed martial arts. The organization is also here to help students learn how to connect with other students, allowing students to network and form life connections. And the last one is Kappa Kappa Psi. Kappa Kappa Psi is a fraternity for college and university band members in the United States. Kappa Kappa Psi empowers and influences the vibrant and diverse college band movement through purposeful programming, unified messaging, and excellence in service and operations. Jordan, come down.
Alrighty, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4 more. And 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you, Directors Lucas, Rafia's report.
Hey guys, I just wanted to say if anyone would like to shadow me for the Director of Finance position, please let me know. I'm going to be starting the shadow process soon, and I just wanted to know if anyone was interested. Thank you.
Next we have the Legislative Affairs and Diversity report.
Hey everyone. Only thing I wanted to say is that is wrong. I have to tell about fixing that. My committee meeting times are actually 4:15 on Thursdays. That's it. Have a good one.
Next we have the off-campus design report this week. And the where did you report this week? Okay.
Hello everyone. So, due to weather, well, is it still raining?
Well, the
Okay.
rock would be wet.
That's true. Alright, so I'm gonna just cancel the Spirit Rock painting after Senate today and postpone it to next week. Sorry for those of you who left some clothes around, which I don't think any of y'all did, but it's okay. So next week after Senate, we'll be painting the Spirit Rock. On Wednesday after our committee meeting, so around 6 o'clock, we'll be taking a spirit walk around campus to identify spaces that we can improve with maybe some flags. I don't know, just make the campus a little bit more spirited. So if you want to walk with us, you are more than welcome. We'll be meeting in the SGA office at 6 o'clock tomorrow. Pride Patrol will be this Friday at 2 p.m. 2 weeks ago was a lot of fun. We can hit up another location, maybe get a golf cart. Still don't have a megaphone, so I'll need people with loud voices and high spirits. And I'm also going to be ordering an SGA shirt for just members only, just to promote Improve ODU. I'll look out for those. So if you have access to the roster, please make sure that your t-shirt size is accurate. So when I'm ordering those t-shirts, I'm getting the right sizes and everyone has something that fits. That is it for my reports.
Director Campbell. And then, what are you going to do?
So Stephen wanted to say that Housekeeping Appreciation Day is November 14th. His committee meeting is canceled, and please help Student Life Committee get resolution signatures for allergen labels and broader dining comments. He's going to send a link in the group chat later on this evening. I'm not sure if he did or not. And that's it.
There's no report from Chris today. And advisors. You guys are good. Awesome. And then reserve seats. Did you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'll introduce myself.
Yeah, okay. So we have a new reserve seat. He's replacing Brad. It's the NRTC senior. So come introduce himself.
Alright, good afternoon everyone. I'm Kevin Lee. I'm the new representative for NRTC. I'm a freshman and I'm a computer science major and I look forward to working with y'all.
Chelsea, can you report this week? Will's not here. I'm gonna step down. Senator Simpson? Yep, awesome. Okay, so that is it. So next order of business. Public comments announcements. Are there any public comments or announcements?
I just have one. So at 7 o'clock today in the Aisles of Right room, we will have our GA meeting for NAACP. So come out.
Are there any other public? Yes.
So I forgot I did have a report. LSI is hosting, sponsoring the LSI Swing Thursdays, and SGA is co-hosting with another organization. So make sure you guys come out on Thursday, 12:30 to 1:30 in front of LSI, 1071 Web Center, right down the hallway from our office.
Yes, Senator.
Brother to brother, we've actually moved our general body meetings to Wednesdays at 5 o'clock in this room. So if you know anyone that's interested, please tell them that it's now on Wednesdays at 5 BOE.
Are there any other public comments or announcements? Yes.
So Health Promotions is having a fruit and veggie festival tomorrow. It was outside, but due to the rain and the possible tropical hurricane, they're moving it inside the Coffin Mall or inside the North Mall tomorrow from 6 to 8 p.m. Yeah, come out.
Are there any other? Yes.
If you guys aren't doing anything around like 6:30, come out to, I think it's Coffin Mall as far as I know. Tonight is the Big Blue Take Back, and we'd love to have SGA support there as well.
Are there any other?
It's October 13th.
It's October 13th. Okay, are there any other public comments or announcements at this time? Yes.
I think
Guys, please. Respectful, please. Yes.
I think you're confused. Tonight is the Green Dot talent show, and that was moved for the weather. I'm not sure the new location, but it's inside the web.
Yes, Senator Johnson.
The talent show was actually earlier today at 12:30 to 1:30, but tonight is Dr. Dorothy Edwards, the founder of Green Dot. She'll be speaking in the North Cafe at 7 o'clock.
Excellent. Yes.
So Destin is having a fundraiser today at Chipotle from 4 to 8. And then also tonight, Trust is having the Sickle Cell Awareness event with the Sickle Cell Association. I think that was it. Oh, and also Trust will be having a meeting on Wednesday in the Cape Charles room at 7 o'clock.
Thank you. Any more public comments or announcements at this time? Okay, excellent. So, today we have the adoption of the agenda, followed by the adoption of the previous minutes, followed by quorum, which we ended up is now 10, followed by the ODU PD report, followed by old business, resolution 1, Senate Bill 5, and Senate Bill 6, which were all moved to second reading status. We passed all three of those bills, my bad, guys. Then we had new business, which was Senate Bill 7, September 2017 New Center Confirmation Bill, which was fast-tracked, followed by Senate Bill 8, the Bylaws Reconstruction Phase 3 Additions 1 bill, followed by the President's Vice President report, the Treasurer's report, Chief Justice report, Senate Committee reports, Advisors report, Reserve Seat report, followed by public comments and announcements. And is there a motion on the floor at this time? Yes, Senator Simpson.
I move that we adjourn.
There's a motion on the floor to adjourn. Is there a second? Is there any opposition? So we are adjourned. So just everybody stand up and sit back down so we can enter a special session. It's not, it's executive. Yeah. Okay. Oh, the senators are after leaving, like a second. Yeah. Okay, so Tyler, did I send you this agenda?
It's on the Google Drive.
It is on the Google Drive, yeah.
Oh, give me one second.
Yeah. It's special.
Those centers, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so hi everybody. Welcome to the special session of the 87th session of Student Government Association. The time is 3:56. We're going to start by going over the agenda. On there is quorum, which is 10 right now, followed by old business, Senate Bill 7, the September 2017 new Senator Confirmation Bill, followed by adjournment. Is there a motion on the floor at this time? Yes, Senator Chair.
Information. Point of order, I think. I'm not sure. I think quorum is only 9.
1, 2, 3. Jess is in the back.
Oh, okay.
She's wet, yeah. Okay. Is there a motion on the floor at this time? Yes, Senator.
A motion to approve the agenda.
There's a motion on the floor to approve the agenda. Is there a second? Is there any opposition? Excellent. The agendas have been approved. So quorum is 10. And okay, so Tyler, can you bring up old business Senate Bill 7, the September 2017 new Senator Confirmation Bill? And will the 3 prospective senators who are on this bill please leave briefly so we can vote on you guys? Thank you. Sorry. No, we're good. This is scary. Okay, can you keep the bill for me, Tyler?
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Okay, so are there any questions for me at this time? No, okay, so is there a motion on the floor? So we're going to vote on this bill to signature ordinance. Yes, Senator Cherry.
Motion to enter voting procedure.
There's a motion on the floor to enter voting procedure. Is there a second? Is there any opposition? We're now in voting procedure. Please raise your hand if you would like to confirm all 3 of these senators. Okay, with 10 yeas, 0 nays, and 0 abstains, all 3 senators have finished. Tyler, I can take the PowerPoint now. PowerPoint now. Alright, can all 3 of you guys come up? I'm sorry, I should have asked you to. Ron, can you put it up there for me? You guys are all voting on it. I hope so.
I state your name.
I, Shasta Baker,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to vow to uphold
to vow to uphold
the vision and mission of Old Dominion University
the vision and mission of Old Dominion University
through my service to the student government,
in my service to the student government,
the entirety of the student body,
the entirety of the student body,
and the university,
and the university,
and impartially execute
and partially execute
for the welfare and representation of all students
for the welfare and representation of all students
the duties of senator
the duty of senator
as prescribed by the Constitution of the student government
as prescribed by the Constitution of the student government
and the Old Dominion University student conduct policy.
and the Old Dominion University student conduct policy.
Alright, do you guys want to say anything? You guys already spoke about yourself. Yeah, we're good. Okay. Okay, so today, so today we had the adoption of the agenda, followed by quorum, which was 12, followed by old business, Senate Bill 7, the 2017, new Senator confirmation bill. And is there a motion on the floor at this time? Yes, Senator Simpson.
I'd like the motion to adjourn.
There's a motion on the floor to adjourn. Is there a second? Is there any opposition? All right, we are adjourned. See you guys next week. I'm just. First, make sure you have signed this on your Thank you. Yeah, but the talking about my